Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Dire Sacrifice action skill. This is a pretty cool action skill where you leap into the air, slam down, and surround all the enemies all around you with a bunch of dark magic damage. And basically, I'm going to tell you how this damage is calculated, what kind of stuff to look out for your gear, and basically how to maximize the damage of this skill, because it's pretty cool, and there's definitely more testing to be done with this skill than what I'm just showing you here, but I'm going to give you a bunch of base knowledge to go out and work with. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. Now, Dire Sacrifice reads, the Fate Maker sacrifices a portion of their health, and they deal dark magic ability damage all around them and apply status effects all around them. Dire Sacrifice deals bonus damage based on the amount of health you sacrifice. Now, Dire Sacrifice has a base damage of 1099. You can see that at the top. Right, how do I get there without messing it up? Right here, 1099. And then you sacrifice 40% of your remaining health or your current health, and then you multiply that bonus, or the 40%, by 150%, and then you add this into the 1099. Now, basically, I'm going to just show you guys the damage formula and break down how this skill works exactly. So if I can pull up my notepad here, basically, how this works is Dire Sacrifice base plus the remaining health times 0.6. Now, I know it said times 40%, then times 150, but just a quick math shortcut is you can just multiply it by 0.6. And now what's really also cool about this is, since when you cast Dire Sacrifice, it leaves you with 60% health, you can actually just cast it and see what health is left, 2271, and you could actually just plug that in directly to the damage formula right here. So that's a cool little tidbit, and if you're doing testing with this yourself, there's a little shortcut for you. Anyways, one thing you're going to notice here is that the Graveborn power only gets applied to the base 1099 of Dire Sacrifice. So just so you know, Graveborn power, since it's only getting applied to the 1099 and it's not getting applied to your remaining health bonus, which the remaining health bonus is going to be the bulk of Dire Sacrifice's damage, this is not a make or break stat for your build. Now, obviously, you know, you're a Graveborn, you're going to have Graveborn armor. You know, if you can get Graveborn on your amulet, it's a very good bonus, don't get me wrong, but you don't have to. So if you find a better amulet with like perfect stats, or you want to be experimental and use some random armor, go for it. You don't necessarily need that. Anyways, then we're obviously, you know, after we add these together, we're going to multiply this by our elemental, all damage, area damage, ability damage, and then there is the 0.9, the 90% dark magic versus any armor in the game is just 0.9. So it's pretty nice because with dark magic, you get, it's almost like kinetic. There's no bonuses and there's just a slight penalty against everything, but you get all that healing. So, you know, when you're playing this against mobbing, Dire Sacrifice is really good against mobbing, but like you saw in the intro clips, the damage will drop off against bossing. And that's because we can get our damage upwards of 150k, 200k. Once you have everything specced out and like ascension stacks and everything coming together, you can get your damage pretty up there to kill almost every mob in the game, except for like the really tough elite trolls. But you know, 200k is like 1/10 or 1/20th of Parasite's health, and Parasite's one of the weaker bosses in the game. So unfortunately, you can't use Dire Sacrifice alone for bossing. Now, of course, you know, you got to find a build where you can, you know, activate all your anointments and then use your guns and spells to do the damage for you. Anyways, now, one thing I want to talk about is the max health and the way it's calculated and how strong unarmored defense is for Dire Sacrifice. Because you guys noticed that our remaining health gets added on to the base damage. And this is going to be a huge bonus because when I show you how we can get our remaining health up to like 15, 20k, once you have Ascension stacks up, it's going to add an insane bonus to our base damage. The Dire Sacrifice base is only 1099. I have 70% Graveborn power on my gear right now, so that only puts it up to just under 2k still. But our remaining health, when we get our remaining health to 20k, this is going to be like a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9k bonus on top of that. So this is the biggest bonus here, and that's why we're going to show you guys how unarmored defense is absolutely insane. And that's how we calculate our max health. So our max health is calculated where you take your base health, which my base health at level 40 is about 2513, somewhere around there. I'm not sure if the game is rounding up or down. Anyways, and then you just go ahead and multiply that by all of your gear bonuses. So skill health bonuses, gear health bonuses, hero point health bonuses are all additive with each other. And then you just multiply that, like all the added bonuses. So like 30% in skills, 30% in gear, 30% in health. That's 90%. Just multiply that into your base health. And then negative health bonuses are actually represented as a multiplier, just like these are, but you divide by them. So one thing I want to point out is the static charge shield, which is a legendary shield. This actually has a negative 100% health bonus built into it. And I'm going to show you guys that right here. Let me go ahead. So you see we don't have the static charge on. Let me heal up. And this is why I'm bringing up the static charge, because even though it has this negative 100% multiplier, you're going to see that with unarmored defense, it's still the better shield somehow. So look at our health. It's 3786. We go ahead, we put on the static charge, and it drops to 1800. Now, so most would think you don't want to use this shield for dire sacrifice because it cuts your health in half. However, let's pull up the formula again. However, you can see that we take all of our health bonuses, and that only gets multiplied by our base health, and then you add unarmored defense onto that. It's kind of like up here when we said the sacrificed health is gonna be stronger than the 1099 with the Graveborn power. It's the same idea here. Unarmored defense is gonna be stronger than any health bonuses or detriments, and it's kind of insane. And let me go ahead and show you guys what I mean. So let me take this down. Let me take this down. So basically, let me put on a different shield, this Mind Rune. See, our health is 3786, and I have some health rolls, like this has maximum health on it. I got 2 points into this, which has maximum health. I'm going to take unarmored defense. So we go from 3786 all the way up to 14k. Now, when we had the static charge on, remember the static charge, it brought our health from, what was it, 3786 down to 1800. Well, look what happens when we put on the static charge. All of a sudden we have more health, and that wouldn't make any sense to you unless you knew how this damage formula worked, and unarmored defense gets added on at the end. So even though we are having a 100% penalty on our health divided by 2, we still get more health out of unarmored defense. And that's also going to go for wards. A turtle shield, it's plus 40% ward for minus 10% maximum health. So what that means is in the damage formula, you're taking that 10% maximum health from your health bonuses that I showed you, and you're adding that 40% to unarmored defense, which is just going to be an insane bonus, and it basically ends up giving you more health in the end. Now, finally, let's go ahead and go over a damage test to basically prove to you guys that what I am saying is true. Let me make sure I have on the right gear. I used this in my damage test. All right, so I ended up doing a damage test with the Mind Rune and this gear on. So in this test, we have 50% dark magic damage, 50% dark magic damage, 17% ability damage, 17% ability damage. We have this anointment, which gives us 20% all damage. On our amalgam, that someone actually sent me this, it has ability damage on it, it has ward capacity on it, has maximum health on it, it has all damage on it. This Urge has all damage, dark magic, Graveborn, and then finally this has 35% elemental damage. So let's go ahead and cast Dire Sacrifice and just see the number that we get. So you can see that the game is saying 64k. So 64k. Obviously I have no skill tree. We can get this much higher once you add some skills into this, but 64k. So let's go ahead and go over into the notepad. And I showed you guys all my bonuses. Earlier I was getting 65k. The game is rounding down now for some reason. I'm not sure what I changed, but the game gives 64k. Anyways, so basically we have our base health of 2513. We multiply this by our armor, which had 42% health on it, Mortal Vessel, which we have 2 points on our armor, which was 6% health. And then Hero Rank, which I don't have any hero points spent, but I have a 2.5% bonus hero rank. So we add all this together, multiply it by our base health, and that gives us 3786, which you remember, this was our health earlier before I added Unarmored Defense. Then you add Unarmored Defense, which our shield is this capacity. It leaves us with 6362. Multiply that by 1.5, which means we're adding 9543 to our health from 3786. And this gives us 13,329 health total. And if you look, I have 7997 because I just casted Dire Sacrifice, which means our sacrifice bonus is gonna be 7997. So then we take our 1099, which is our base Dire Sacrifice, multiply this by our Graveborn power bonus, which I had some on my armor and my amulet. We add that 7997 onto that, which gives us a base damage for Dire Sacrifice of 9901. Then we take this 9901, so the 9901, multiply that by our elemental, multiply that by our all damage, multiply that by our ability damage, and then multiply that by the 0.9 penalty, and you can see that we get 65,097, and the game rounded up or rounded down somewhere, so I apologize for that because we got 64k, but basically you can see that this formula is working. Now I'll put this formula for you guys in the pinned comment or the description, probably both, and there you go. So that is how to maximize the power of Dire Sacrifice. And actually, I don't want to end the video just yet. I just wanted to talk about real quick how Unarmored Defense is probably the best bonus for Dire Sacrifice possible, but it's in the Berserker tree. And it kind of makes it awkward because it makes it so that when you want to build Dire Sacrifice, you have to build it with the Berserker tree. But there are probably some better ways with other skill trees to get some crazy things out of this skill, but it feels like I'm locked to Graveborn. Hopefully they add like an amulet or some sort of gear or shield that like gives you the ability of Unarmored Defense, or maybe if they could fix the Deathless class mod, because Unarmored Defense says you can't reserve health anymore, but maybe they can like fix it with the Deathless class mod so that you just don't reserve the health, but you still get the shield bonus, and then that shield bonus gets boosted into your health with Unarmored Defense. Like maybe if there was some weird workaround with that armor I meant instead. And also the fact that Unarmored Defense is just in the Berserker tree is a little annoying. I already said this, but you know, if I could use a tree like the Stabomancer for spreading around status effects, you know, maybe then we could do some really cool things with this skill against bosses as well as mobs, because you can boost this skill to nuke a bunch of mobs, but as soon as you get rid of Unarmored Defense, like your damage gets cut by half, if not a little more than half. Although when you're using a different tree, you can get other damage bonuses different ways. Maybe just offer other ways to boost this, or buff the actual base damage of Dire Sacrifice more, so that way the sacrificed health is a little bit less important, or I'm not sure exactly. Maybe they do have some plans with some certain gear and DLC, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that that does make it a little bit awkward, and there probably is a way they could change this to make it, you know, a little bit better. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed this math breakdown. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel for more Wonderlands videos. Also, comment your thoughts or any questions you have about Dire Sacrifice, and also any tips out there for anyone who plays Dire Sacrifice. How do you guys do bossing? Because, you know, I've been messing around with different stuff. I've been throwing pixies with my bossing, and I haven't found the perfect solution just yet. So anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.